right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Team League. This is OGS versus ZeNEX, and you know what? I gotta eat my words a little bit here. I expected at the beginning of this series that OGS was just going to stomp ZeNEX, and ZeNEX is putting up a really good fight though. It's currently 3-2, although the winds have been going the direction that I wasn't expecting on certain games. So very interesting play, a lot of surprises for me here today, and I'm hoping we see some more surprises, although it is going to be hard to surprise OGS Nada. This guy has seen everything, such a smart player, always innovating. I mean, this guy, even when it seems like everything's been done before, he was the first person to send Marines off to, you know, to the locations where Overlords likely went to kill their first Overlords while they were getting the scouting position, stuff like that. Anyway, but he's going to be facing off against ZeNEX, who played really, really well in that last game, taking a win for ZeNEX. We're going to get into Belshire Beach here pretty soon and find out if he can continue to get ZeNEX back into the game, or if the legend Nada will shut him down here at the GSTL.
Here we are, the bottom right of the map. The player for Team ZeNEX. Our Protoss was able to defeat the STC. It is ZeNEX.
Oh man. If he plays the next game, if he beats Nada, we've got an epic intro planned for him next time. But here is the genius Terran himself. One of the most accomplished programmers of all time. And that crosses almost any esport, actually. Nada has won more things in esports than almost anyone else ever. Moon maybe has a couple more or something like that from all of his War 3 tournaments. Maybe something like Fatality, but Nada is definitely up there.
We have Belshire Beach for this Terran versus Protoss, and one of the things on Belshire Beach is that it's really hard for the Protoss player to actually scout the main base of the Terran. So the information whether there's gas or not is not easily obtained, and this is something that makes a lot of Protoss players just plays a little bit blind, which is obviously not what you're going for. Quite often the Terran player is just trying to get an early expansion without gas, which seems to be exactly what Nada is doing right now. But, well, that's something that Extreme can't be 100% sure about.
Oh, is that SCV trapped? Oh, he's actually kept it there intentionally to try and stop that probe from getting through.
First blood.
No, I'm sorry, I got trapped. Never mind.
Yeah. First blood goes to.
I thought there was a gap there for a second. Anyway, yes, first blood to Extreme, getting that SCV. Killed it off, didn't slow down the barracks though really, because another SCV was sent out there. And
there should be a command center within the next few seconds for Nada. One barracks expand for our Terran player. The Marine just checking if the probe is hovering somewhere in the vicinity, and he's building the command center straight at the mineral line. That is natural.
That probe does not get in to see if the command center is there. It's a good idea. It's always wise to do that, to try and check for that. But was not able to find it. The Zealot's going to come and try and scout as well.
And
at the very least, he's going to want to
boosting his Stalkers. He's using another Chrono Boost for the Stalkers, so he's trying to put some early pressure upon Nada. Once again, ZeNEX Extreme with a very aggressive opening.
At the very least, he wants to scout that bunker so he can get an idea of if he's expanded or not. Because he doesn't, he's pretty much in the dark right now. He didn't even get that probe into the base, so he doesn't know if there's more buildings there. Now he did get in close enough to see that command center. It's exactly what he wanted. Sacrificed the probe, and a little bit of hit points off that Stalker, but it's very important information for him to know.
sacrificed a couple of chrono boosts for the warp gate, and they don't accumulate to a lot. The SCV is being killed, not able to scout the main base of Extreme, but at least he was able to have a quick look at the natural.
Yep. He was able to see that there was not an expansion up at the time, although obviously there's one going up now.
22 to 20 harvesters in the early game. Nothing special that's happening right now. We have the mule, obviously, that makes up for the difference in the harvester count.
Did he scan Extreme's main, by the way?
I don't
kind of curious.
So. No reason to scan that early.
I'm just thinking about it from Nana's point of view. He didn't really get any information at all from that probe scout. He's going to need to find out something about what's going on pretty soon, so he can counter whatever is going to come. There is a robotics facility going down rather, being produced, and Nana is going ahead and getting a factory, getting a tech lab on his. I'm sorry, yes, tech lab on his factory and a starport next to it. Not sure if he's going to switch that over and get Banshees or Ravens, or if he's actually just going to make tanks.
He has 3 gas right now, so switching it over would certainly make sense.
Yeah.
He already has the gas. Oh, no, he's going straight into tanks.
He's going to tanks. There we go.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do on Belcher Beach. You can also play with drop plays, for example. We've seen that in the past, that Terran players try to drop the main base and the natural at the same time. There's a lot of stat space around the 2 bases. Protoss players are kind of well known for using blink strategies on Belcher Beach, trying to get into the main base by using an observer and blinking up that ramp. Something that we don't see for ZeNEX Extreme just now. He has a robotics that was building the first observer, but we are still waiting for additional tech buildings for our Protoss player.
Yes, indeed, and nice little wall at the front there for Nada, making sure nothing can sneak by. Well, he does have a little bit of a gap there.
He's building the Banshee, not the dust, by the way. He's building the Banshee, not
he is getting Banshees.
He added a tech lab at his starport.
Interesting.
So going for one build on 2 bases.
And he's probably going to get some more production facilities before too long as well, although he hasn't been producing a lot of troops. He's got a couple bunkers full of Marines. Observer's going to come in and get a nice peek at all of it. Spots the Banshee for a second. I don't know if he was actually paying attention at that moment. And actually the fact that he's bringing his observer back home, well, no, he has another observer in his main, so I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, is that he brought the observer back because he was worried about cloaked Banshees and wanted to get it home for that purpose, but he's just parked it out in front of Nada's base, so he knows when he moves out with his ground army instead.
Nada's getting a Raven now, not only to detect the observers, but at the same time, obviously, to get point defense drones later on in the fight. And we have the Twilight Council for Extreme, the Banshee trying to do some damage, and encountering one single Stalker. Second one joins the party, and number 3 gets warped in. Banshee has to back up. There's no chance of dealing damage to the Protoss player just now. Both bunkers getting salvaged.
Wow. He got a Raven after that first Banshee as well. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I like it. It's a good move. You can get down point defense drones with it, which will protect you from stalker fire in the middle of battle. Or, you know, you can use it for putting down...
I just said that like 10 seconds
Did
ago.
you? Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm tired today.
Hold it up, blanked out for a second. Well, better we say it twice than we don't mention it at all.
I'm sorry. That's...
At first I thought, like, is he just trolling me? No, he's serious about it.
Oh, man.
Nah. We better mention it twice than not at all. So.
I guess so. I guess so.
And he can scout the observers, which he did.
True.
But the observer is actually backing off a little bit too fast.
No, that's a really good point, because oftentimes we just see Terrans using tons of scans to kill observers, and it's very smart to get that Raven out.
Storm is now coming up for ZeNEX Extreme. Both players on 2 bases. We are once again in the scenario that both are playing a little bit more passive, just trying to wait. We have 53 against 51 halves the count. 2 Banshees, 6 tanks, 30 Marines against 3 High Templars with Storm, 12 Zealots and the Stalkers. So battle is about to commence. Combat shield very important, obviously now for Nada, as Storm is about to finish.
Yeah, Nada has a much bigger army, much more powerful army, but a few clutch storms could change that completely. And instead, though, he realizes that he is at a disadvantage and makes a wall there in order to retreat back to his natural expansion, have a better spot to defend. This push from Nada is going to be huge. As you mentioned, combat shields is almost done. He's gonna have +1 soon as well, but he actually is going in. Okay, this is not a good idea. He does not want to engage right now. No, a nice storm though on the army. Oh, that is exactly what he needed.
Well done by ZeNEX Extreme, dodging the point defense thrown there for a second. Very nice storms, but he's not able to take down Nada just yet. But that was a lot of damage dealt by those storms. He's backing off once again, and Nada, well, he's lacking a couple. He lost the Raven was sniped, and he has 29 Marines once again. But does Extreme actually have storms? He does not. He has a 3 High Templars, but not the energy to cast another storm.
Our SCVs are under attack.
And yeah, this is a really strong push here. Nada basically sacrificing sustainability by not getting medevacs and instead spending that gas on attack units. And here comes, he's got tons of siege tanks tiered in the back. Templar going to get a nice storm off, but there's just so many units in the back. Nice feedbacks on the Banshees as well, on at least one of them, but it's just not enough to kill them. Too many of Nada's forces are still standing, and this contain holds completely.
The contain holds, and Nada tries to expand again. He's getting a third while still attacking. Hey, he's researching Stim. The Zealots charge in. There are the Stalkers trying to take down the tanks. And we have another beautiful storm by ZeNEX Extreme. But Nada's contain holds. And we have the Protoss player with a lot of problems right now to deal with. One of them having not the energy for enough storms. Most of the Templars got already killed. This is a tough one, Ultra.
Yeah, this is really tough. This is a really interesting play by Nada. Just basically going, oh, hold that thought, he's going to try and break out again. He's got one Templar there, but it doesn't have any energy actually, so I don't know why it's there.
Too many tanks.
Yeah, too many tanks in too many locations. Oh, he actually came in from the top with some Stalkers as well. Picks off a couple tanks, nicely done.
But in the end, he loses a lot of units. The army supply 40 to 29, but the tanks are unguarded now as Nada tries to chase down the Stalker. He succeeds in doing so, but he loses way too many units at his contain. And this could turn the tables in favor of ZeNEX Extreme, who's going to throw down a third base on his own.
Yeah, that was unlucky. He sent his whole army basically after that one Stalker, and Extreme had an observer right over the contain, so he looked down there and he's like, wait, you just have 2 tanks and an empty bunker? I'll just kill it then. So nice decision making there by Extreme to take advantage of that situation, and really interesting play by Nada to just, instead of going for the normal play with lots of bio and getting the medevacs and the stim, he didn't get any of that. He didn't get stim or anything, he just got a bunch of stuff and attacked with all of it and tried to go for a huge contain there and a push on it.
What I think is really interesting is that Nada is now getting a very, very late cloak for his Banshees.
Oh!
One of the Banshees is getting feedback immediately upon arriving at the scene, and wow, just barely survives with 1 hit point.
1 hit point. Oh wow. That was a
nice
one.
One Zealot blocking the expansion position for the STC, delaying it a little bit further. We have a supply lead already for ZeNEX Extreme. He has a lot of Zealots, 18 of them, and is now adding double forge for this upgrade. 4th base coming up for him as well.
Nice. Ghost Academy is almost done for Nada. Allow him to get some ghosts in there. He's really going to need them against these Templar with storms. If he doesn't EMP some of those Templar, he is just going to get completely ripped to shreds. And here comes some Zealots coming in though. A storm on top of his Marines. He falls back out of the storm. Nicely done. Some of his Marines do survive to clean up, but most of his tanks fall at the same time. A pretty even trade there.
He had a big problem with the Zealots because the Marines backed up and all the Zealots ran into the storm, so he stormed his own units in the end. Another Banshee is taken out. Cloak has been cancelled. I like the decision to cancel Cloak.
Good move.
Because there are too many observers on the map. Cancelling Cloak definitely makes sense.
Yes, indeed. And instead, I believe he switched over the starport to a reactor. Did I get that right? Yeah, he's now making medevacs out of it. So, very smart move there to go for that. We do have the 4th base up for ZeNEX Dream, and Nada is still on 3 bases. He's just barely gotten his 3rd base up, so he is at a little bit of a disadvantage right now.
Extreme is not harvesting gas from his expansion just yet, from his 3rd that is. He's only relying on the minerals for now, and this makes sense as he's increasing his Zealots by quite a bit. He has 21 of them, 1 Archon, and of course the High Templars in the back. +2/+2 being researched for OGS. Nada now. He has the upgrade advantage, and here comes Extreme running in with everything he has, taking down the first tank. Nice storm so far.
But does he have the storms to follow up? He does not have any energy left, so the reinforcements of Nada are really going to take the day on that one and fend this off. Very, very nicely done.
The economy for Extreme is now a lot better thanks to his huge lead in Harvesters. He has 13 additional Harvesters. 1 Archon sacrificing himself.
Didn't have the will to live anymore.
Emo Archon.
Yeah, Nada, he knows about that bottom left base now. He's obviously scouted this out. It's interesting, we actually just saw that Extreme is not mining gas from that 3rd. He's not actually, okay, he's just started mining from the 4th. Oh, beautiful storm right on that entire army while they were stationary.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this could be bad. He needed that. He does not have the reinforcements to handle this time. So many Zealots survive. He didn't storm them this time. Nada being pushed back into his own expansion.
Extreme is taking on Nada, and it does not look good for the player from OGS. This is looking horrible, in fact. He is on a roll.
Yes, he moves up and takes out the 3rd. If he takes out all the SCVs at that 3rd, it will cripple, absolutely cripple Nada. ZeNEX Dream is a newcomer to the GSL, but we are seeing him play beautifully today. His Protoss versus Terran is just impeccable. He is making all the correct decisions, microing nearly perfectly. Nada does not give up. That is one of the aspects of his style. He just will not give up until the very last moment. He will always micro all of his units until the end, but he is in danger of losing everything now.
Nada can prolong this game, but in the end he won't change the outcome. He doesn't have anything, no ace up his sleeve, and there are the mana nexus for ZeNEX Dream. Wow, 2 of them.
He's gonna put another one in Nada's base. The mana nexus goes down, and Nada retreating his SCVs out of his natural expansion is going to lose that orbital. ZeNEX Dream has come back from a 3-1 deficit to take his team to a 3-3 tie, storming his own Zealots just because he can. And this is going to be a tie ball game, ladies and gentlemen. OGS Nada, like I said, he just never gives up until the very end, but he will now GG with an extreme upset over the Genius Terran coming from the ZeNEX Protoss player.
And you mentioned earlier that it's obviously a very huge question if OGS is going to take this seriously, and I guess now they will.
Yeah, well, I mean, they sent out Nada. That's definitely taking it a little bit more seriously, but now they're definitely going to have to throw in their big guns. Their bigger guns, I should say. Nada's definitely a big gun, but lately he's been a little bit less consistent than some of the other players on the OGS team.
Metropolis is going to be the next map, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Let's wait until the next player is going to be announced for OGS.
GSTL. That's right. And yeah, I'm curious to see who it's going to be. Probably going to be, I'm going to guess Supernova. That's my guess. It's a very, very strong Terran player. A lot of their other players that are kind of sitting on the bench they have a couple Protosses. I don't know, it could be, I could see them throwing in Zenio as well.
Yeah, we forgot, well, I forgot Zenio earlier when we mentioned the remaining Zerg players for OGS, so it's not only Lovesick, but also Zenio, of course.
Yep. And I don't know, it's Metropolis. We haven't really seen enough games on this map, and I haven't at least, to really get a feel for if it's favored one way or the other. I haven't had a chance to look at the map statistics or anything like that.
I haven't seen a Protoss player play on this map yet, so I have no idea about Protoss on Metropolis in particular. So far,
Yeah.
I've only watched Zerg versus Terran games. I saw a bunch of... Well, I think that a Zerg could be really good on Metropolis against Extreme. So we might see Zenio.
That's a possibility. The third base on Metropolis is kind of a little bit off to the side. It's not really difficult to secure, but it's something that's a little bit hard to hold if your opponent is going to be pressuring you from different locations, that kind of thing. So, something to think about. Yeah, we're going to find out here in just a moment. Could be Zenio. I could see them throwing him out because he's been doing rather well lately. Even though, again, he's been less than consistent in the past.
I would actually love to see Zenio.
We're going to find out right now. The dramatic music is playing. Supernova doesn't look too interested, so he's probably not. He doesn't look like he's about to play. Oh, it's of course. I don't know why I didn't think of him either. OGS Finn for GG is coming off the bench. Very new to StarCraft 2, let alone to the OGS team, and he is coming out to face ZeNEX, another Terran versus Protoss. And OGS Finn looked really, really stellar in the last season of Code A. He dominated everyone he came up against like it was nobody's business. And then in Code S this season, really got knocked out pretty quickly, but still an extremely strong player.
But why exactly would you throw another Terran player against Extreme after he did quite well against the last two?
That's true. He just beat 2 Terran players. That's a good point, actually.
Obviously, Finn, in terms of reputation and also his trolley skill in general, is the superior player. But so far, we had Extreme with a really nice record against Terran. He defeated the last 2 they threw against him. He's a little bit on a roll right now, and he can stay in the same mindset now. He already played against 2 Terran players, so
yeah,
I'm not sure, but I would have preferred to see a different matchup now, to see them place down maybe Zenio's player against...
Yeah, Zenio would have been the only other option, really. Because, again, you don't really want to... PvP, again, is very volatile. That's the word I was thinking of yesterday that I couldn't think of. Volatile, so you probably don't want to send Hero out there right now. So, yeah, Zenio, but... I don't know, again, Zenio, he's kind of a wild card. He plays really well sometimes, and sometimes he plays really badly. Well, not really badly, but sometimes he plays lackluster. Anyway, it is going to be Finn coming out here. We're going to see what Finn has in store for us. Again, he did extremely well. He looked really, really good in Code A last season, so we know he's a very powerful player. We know he's very good at Terran versus Protoss. Didn't look that convincing in Code S this season, but he was playing against players like, I forget, he lost to MC, and I don't remember who else he'd lost to in that group, but he went 0-2 in his Code S group.
The thing is, I feel like it's easier. The problem that I see is the following. I think it's easier to counter a Zerg player with the next player when you know exactly what he's up to than a Terran player. So in case that they have a major upset and Finn is now losing as well to Extreme, what do you do then? Do you pin another Terran player against him, the 4th in a row? So if they had changed it now and maybe picked Zenio might have lost. So there's Extreme, and then you can still pin another Terran player against him. But if you now change the matchup and decide not to use a 4th Terran player, but actually Zenio, then the remaining player for... even if he wins, the remaining player for ZeNEX might be a choice that is actually able to counter Zenio.
That's true. That's true.
Obviously, a lot of thinking, and maybe I'm taking it a little bit too far right now.
Well, remember, a lot of the time in these situations, the coaches and the players will have planned out specific things for specific situations. So this may have been something that was just always planned, where like, all right, if we have a Protoss, Finn, you're gonna prepare against Protoss on this map, you know, and that's your thing. That's your strategy, and if we need to throw that in, we can, you know, that kind of thing. So that might have been what it was going on. That's why we often see players that, you know, you wouldn't expect thrown in at certain situations because they're happen to be the player that was prepared for that exact situation. So it's hard to tell. We will not know what is in the mind of the OGS coach, but we will know what is in the minds of our players in just a moment as the game has begun. That's Protoss versus Terran on Metropolis. It's about to begin.